for nothing at all.
Great dreams, sunshine, stay in there, you can't separate us. We fit together.
Just wanna skydive right into your life.
Picture this. It's the year 2000. Pop music is the thing. TRL is blasting every afternoon. Girls are trading glossy J14 posters, and boy bands are basically gods. Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were ruling the world so naturally, the next big act was just waiting to be born. But nobody expected that the next boy band to take over the charts would come straight out of a reality TV show. That's right, America watched in real time as 5 regular guys became pop stars in the hit series Making the Band. And just like that, O-Town was born. Or kind of, because before the group was even locked in, the drama was already bubbling. Originally, O-Town was supposed to include a member named Ikaika Kahuano. He had the looks, the talent, and the votes, but he didn't have the stomach for the chaos. Ikaika famously dipped out before the group even recorded their first album. Officially, it was called Personal Issues, but behind the scenes, rumors of medical concerns and serious disagreements with Lou Pearlman, the guys were stunned. But the show had to go on literally. So in walked Dan Miller, an Ohio-bred cutie with pipes to match his dimples, and boom, the O-Town lineup was complete. Now you've got Ashley Parker Angel, Eric Michael Estrada, Jacob Underwood, Trevor Pennick, and Dan Miller. 5 guys, 1 dream, and a whole lot of teenage hormones chasing them. Their first single? Liquid Dreams. Oh honey, it was something. A bizarre anthem about a dream girl composed of celebrity body parts, J-Lo's butt, Madonna's smile, and Halle Berry's hips. Somehow, it was a hit. The track soared to number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, and just like that, O-Town wasn't just a TV show. They were legit stars. Their self-titled debut album went platinum. That's no joke. In a year where every boy band was competing for attention, O-Town broke through. And their biggest weapon wasn't Liquid Dreams, it was the emotional gut punch ballad All or Nothing. That song slapped the soul out of every middle schooler with a crush. It peaked at number 3, and you could not escape it. Whether it was playing at high school dances, blasting from car stereos, or slow jamming on MTV, All or Nothing was the track that turned casual listeners into full-blown fans. Fun fact, O-Town was the first band to be signed to Clive Davis's New J Records label, making them an industry experiment of sorts. Davis, a music mogul known for launching legends like Whitney Houston and Alicia Keys, personally believed in the group's potential, even inviting them to perform at label showcases usually reserved for established acts. But behind the glitz and the harmonies was a looming shadow, Lou Pearlman. This was the same man who had built and allegedly scammed both Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. And wouldn't you know it, O-Town got the same treatment. They were performing non-stop, touring all over, filming music videos, doing interviews, and barely seeing a dime. Their contracts were a mess. They later admitted in interviews that they were broke, stressed, and totally unaware of where their money was going. Classic Lou. He was raking in millions while the guys were grinding for pennies. Still, they kept it pushing. Their second album, O2, dropped in 2002. And while it had some gems, These Are the Days was a highlight. The momentum just wasn't there. The pop landscape was shifting. TRL was cooling off. The audience were moving on. And O-Town, they were starting to fizzle. Sales dropped and radio airplay was lukewarm at best. Then came the big blow. Clive Davis dropped them from their label. That was the kiss of death. Ashley Parker Angel, arguably the most recognizable face in the group, decided he was done. He wanted a solo career, and he wanted to break into acting. Fans were gutted. For many, Ashley was O-Town. His exit was the unofficial end of the band, and it only got messier from there. Ashley signed on for an MTV reality show, There and Back, which documented his attempts to launch a solo career while being a young dad. Oh yes, the baby mama drama was very real. The show was juicy, full of late-night recording sessions, label rejections, parenting tears, and shirtless gym scenes. Fans loved it, but it definitely put a spotlight on how tough life after boy band fame could be. Meanwhile, the rest of the guys scattered. Some dabbled in side projects. Eric Michael went quiet. Jacob started experimenting with rock. Trevor took on fitness and dance gigs. Dan Miller stepped out of the spotlight entirely and focused on his family. For nearly a decade, O-Town was just a memory, a nostalgic whisper from the 2000s. Then, plot twist. In 2013, the band announced a reunion. Yup, O-Town was coming back, but not all of O-Town. Ashley Parker Angel wasn't on board. He'd moved on and said he was flattered but wasn't interested. So, the remaining four, Eric, Jacob, Dan, and Trevor, decided to move forward without him. And honestly, they made it work. Their 2014 album, Lines and Circles, was surprisingly solid. A little older, a little wiser, and a whole lot more grounded. They weren't chasing trends anymore. They were just making music they liked. Also worth noting, during their comeback, O-Town leveraged Kickstarter to fund their new album, raising over $80,000 from fans in just a few weeks. It was a modern twist on their origin story, a band built in front of the public, now reborn with their fans' direct support. And fans showed up. The tours weren't selling out stadiums, but they were packed with loyal fans who knew every word to We Fit Together. The guys leaned into nostalgia, embraced the boy band label, and gave people the closure they didn't know they needed. They were self-aware, funny, and dare we say better performers than ever before. As for Ashley, he stayed busy. Theater became his thing. He crushed it in Broadway shows like Hairspray and Wicked, showed up on social media with thirst trap selfies, and occasionally teased solo music. His fan base, especially those who watched him on MTV, stuck with him. He's still out there doing his thing, with a net worth estimated around $1 million. The rest of the guys, they're not rolling in dough, but they're doing fine. Eric Michael has been open about his battles with depression and identity after the fame faded. Jacob has kept close to music, even forming his own rock group for a while. Trevor keeps the vibe light, still the jokester, still in great shape, and still hustling. Dan, low-key as ever. A family man who pops up on tour and then disappears right back into privacy. These days, O-Town is still performing, still making music, and still refusing to let the 2000s die. And honestly, good for them. They've managed to outlast most of the boy bands from their era. They went from a made-for-TV act to a real band. One that's weathered lawsuits, label drama, member exits, and the entire collapse of the CD industry. That's impressive. Their net worths hover in the $500,000 to $700,000 range. Not Backstreet money, but they're not broke either. They've turned into the kind of band that thrives on fan events, nostalgia tours, and that sweet, sweet 30-something millennial love. And let's not forget they were pioneers. Before we had One Direction, before BTS cracked open the behind-the-scenes experience, O-Town showed us everything. The tears, the fights, the backstage pressure, all of it played out in real time. That made them feel real to fans. Not just voices on a CD, but humans trying to survive the industry. So, yeah, maybe they weren't the biggest. Maybe they didn't change music forever. But O-Town had their moment. They gave us iconic tracks, unforgettable reality TV, and some truly wild pop culture moments. And somehow they're still here harmonizing, touring, and living their best, almost famous lives. Because in the end, it was never all or nothing. For O-Town, it was everything in between.